2021's been quite the eventful year, hasn't it? A lot of things have happened, but one thing remained constant relative to the previous few years. We've got our fair share of overpowered characters. So we're here to talk about them again. Some ideas floating around in your head already? Well, I'm not going to do a countdown because I'll be giving notice to characters who are overpowered in the context of their own shows. It wouldn't be fair to compare someone from, say, Attack on Titan to someone from ReZero now, is it? With that brief list spoiler out the way though, let's get on to it. Here are who I think are the most overpowered characters that 2021 has given us. Move over, Kirito, the new age is now. I don't know about you, but I feel that Rimaru's become the poster child for overpowered isekai protagonists now. Amidst the bajillions of isekai with overpowered protagonists that we've had over the past few years, Rimaru and Slime just stand out so much more. I can also tell that the adaptation was given much more love due to how well the fights that showcase the Slime character's mettle are made, and that pays off in a big way in catapulting the show to be one of the best in the genre. Well, Season 2 of Slime aired earlier this year, and it did more of the same, this time pushing Rimaru into complete Demon Lord status and making him even stronger. If you thought he was pretty broken in the first season, wait till you see what he can do now. Even the final boss of the season stood little to no chance, haplessly getting pummeled and consumed by our protagonist. Enemies beware, for I see Rimaru getting even stronger. Well, for now, we do have a movie to look out for as well, don't we? The third season announcement after that? I wish. Pandora's exactly who I was thinking when I first mentioned ReZero in the intro, and how could you not? This is the Witch of Vainglory who was responsible for Emilia's whole backstory and the incidents surrounding the Bond of Ice OVA. Granted, she didn't come alone, but she just blows Regulus out of the water in terms of being overpowered, and we saw how strong Regulus was in the first episode of Season 2. Pandora and Goose never really had a chance. Even after they pulled out all the stops to protect Emilia, they were light years away from beating the witch. And there's no shame in that though. I mean, have you seen what Pandora can do? How do you beat being able to rewrite reality? Oh, she can also bring herself back to life too. Manipulating senses and memories seems to be the least broken amongst the things in her arsenal, and that's very telling. It begs the question as to how our protagonist will deal with her in the future, because I'm certain that the time for confrontation will eventually come, and our heroes better be prepared. Now, for a more muted example, we have Mikey. In contrast to the two mentioned series, Tokyo Revengers is more grounded in reality. That's why I didn't want to do a countdown and compare these overpowered characters directly, but consider this. You don't become the leader of the Thoman for nothing, and he's nicknamed Invincible Mikey for a reason. Only the strongest gets to rule the gang, and he does so in dominant fashion. He's got a slew of curb stomp battles as well. I think the Osanai one was the one anime fans would quickly associate with this, but even in the manga, he barely lost a step. Yeah, he's nowhere as invincible or broken within his own universe like, say, Rimaru, but his accomplishments really count for something. You don't become the leader of one of the most notorious gangs out there without sheer charisma and fighting skills, and Mikey is an example of a character who very clearly has earned his status. Not much more needs to be said about Ishiki. You just let the anime's show of the feats do the talking. You know the guy's in trouble when even the powerful protagonists of the old series fall so handily to this member of the Otsutsuki clan. We all thought that we'd seen it all in the first Naruto series, but many people are convinced that Ishiki is by far the most strongest character in the entire franchise. A lot of comparisons have been made between him and fellow clan member Kaguya, but the truth is, I just don't see it if we're comparing achievements. It takes a brand new all-or-nothing form for Naruto to even have a chance in combat. And speaking of Naruto, you should watch that Barry and Mode fight. It's mind-blowing in a good way. And for those of you who haven't been watching Boruto, you'll be in for a big surprise. But hey, speaking of overpowered, I'd like to introduce the sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. It's the premier VPN service that will allow you to bypass those pesky region locks and enjoy shows you wouldn't normally be able to access legally. I started using ExpressVPN and I never looked back. Want to watch Tokyo Revengers on Crunchyroll? Just open up the app and select the United States server and bam! Now you can watch Mikey kicking ass without worrying about any region locks. But wait! For my viewers in the US, there's also something for you. You can also use ExpressVPN for Netflix by switching your location to get more anime from different countries. And it does all of this without slowing your internet speeds down whatsoever. I can stream anime with blazing fast speeds in HD quality and never experience any buffering. With ExpressVPN, you can also browse the internet with the maximum security that a VPN can provide. That includes hiding your location and protecting you against the scourge of attacks on privacy that are becoming more and more prevalent as the days go by. and all you have to do is head on to my description box and follow the instructions to download ExpressVPN, or just go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube. With ExpressVPN, see a brand new internet without limits. Start your trial on the #1 VPN service now. Now here's an overpowered mentor example for you. Idaten Deities Rin makes this list. Anyone here finish watching Idaten Deities? It's a really underrated show, isn't it, I think? It's from the guy who made Interspecies Reviewers, and you can quickly tell briefly at the style and the R rating. More importantly, however, it features an overpowered character. Standing at 5 feet tall and having lived for over 800 years, we have Rin. Yes, Rin, the sole survivor of the war 800 years ago, the strongest and most brutal mentor that Hayato can ever ask for. Her powers may seem simple enough, but don't be fooled. This sword is one mighty weapon capable of wreaking havoc. Oh, and she has all those crazy abilities too. Let's see, okay? Super strength, super speed, transformation, super regeneration. The list just goes on and on. It's no wonder she looks at the current generation as so weak. If anything, it's just that she's too strong. Just when you thought our heroes had it rough, we get Shigaraki joining the fray. Leader of the League of Villains and the successor to All for One, Shigaraki's appearance in the My Hero Academia series carries with it a lot of expectations. Who could this enigma be? One who's supposedly strong and diabolical enough to succeed the once mighty villain who ravaged society. After coming from the season with Overhaul and his broken quirk, I honestly was eager to see what MHA has in store for us. Lo and behold, we get someone with a similar but even more busted version of it. How about the ability to decay things by touch? And I'm not just talking about arms and such. Taking the whole decay gimmick a step further, Shigaraki gains the ability to do so without the power's general weakness. Yep, Shigaraki's convinced me. He's a worthy successor to All for One, and dare I say, an even more dangerous replacement. We go back to badass mentors in Gojo. Yeah, I know, Jujutsu Kaisen is technically a 2020 show, and the first show of power exhibited by Reverse Gargashi here happened a year ago. You know what happened in 2021 though, don't you? Hollow Purple. That's what. Gojo put on a show in 2020, and he did it again in 2021. And dare I say, this is even more impressive than the previous one. Overall, Gojo really has that cool, overpowered mentor vibe plastered all over him from the get-go. It's amazing how he manages to stick with that moniker and not get relegated into a jobber 2 arcs into the series. A lot of mentor characters suffer that fate, which I would argue that the series' own Nanami did not too long into his debut. Not for Gojo though. He's been kept strong and continually looks impressive in his spectacular displays of power. I don't want to spoil too much about the manga, but it says something when the enemy's game plan revolves around taking him out of the equation through a seal. Yep, they didn't even plan to beat him, just seal him. Of course he'll get a mention. Seven Deadly Sins prides itself as a shonen anime with a whole bunch of overpowered characters just brawling against each other. Amongst that slew of characters, one person stands out as the most awe-inspiring and overpowered amongst them all. You guessed it. Escanor. While modern Seven Deadly Sins don't have the most stellar reputation, the one thing that's remained consistent ever since its start is just how much of a special aura Escanor exudes. He just has that it factor, and while I think character design plays a large part in that, he has some damn impressive feats to back it up too. Take for example his battle against the Demon King, where he managed to go toe-to-toe with the ultimate demon, or maybe when he just destroys Zeldris. Escanor just continues to impress. Levi's badass and overpowered. Meanwhile, water is wet. Thanks to his feats and innate good looks and charisma, Levi's captured the hearts of many AOT fans ever since the first season. We've seen him live up to his nickname of being humanity's strongest soldier on so many occasions, most notably probably the time he just destroyed Zeke in Season 3. Well, what do you know, Levi's back in business in Attack on Titan's final season. In fact, he and Zeke had a rematch, and Levi continues to impress. I know much of the final season has given more attention to Eren, as it should be, but to say that the other characters in AOT have been brushed away to the side would be be doing the series a disservice. Levi's been a one-man spotlight stealing squad for 3 seasons, partly thanks to his coolness and his accomplishments, and I think that had it not been for Isayama's great character writing, Levi would have continued to be one in this 4th season. Yep, you can tell I'm very, very excited about Attack on Titan's grand finale, right? Do you think that these characters represent this year's gallery of overpowered characters very well? Don't forget to go down into the comment section and let us know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out what my channel has to offer. Now, if you really enjoyed it enough to want to support the channel financially, then you can check out my Patreon. Your contributions will help so much in my goal to make even more and even better videos for you in the future. Don't forget to check out our sponsors of this video, ExpressVPN. All you have to do is click the link in the description box or go to expressvpn.com/ViniiTube for a 3-month free trial. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good day ahead. This is ViniiTube, signing off.